Hi everyone, I'm up here on Forest Road in Bexley and I'm going to show you all some nice, quiet residential streets that I ride my bike around that might be good to install some proper cycling infrastructure. So here we go. You can see across the road is Sydney Technical High School, and we're just turning left onto Waratah Street. So we're going to go down past Bupa Aged Care at Bexley and St. Mary's Star of the Sea. As you can see, there's not much in the way of cycling infrastructure here at the moment, but it's a quiet residential street, and it's fairly good through here. Not too many cars. A couple that do, they seem to give you a couple that I do come across. They seem to give you a lot of space. I've found most drivers in residential areas to be fairly courteous. And so someone like me, I'm fairly confident. I don't mind riding around, but on the road. But my partner and elderly people and young families, they're the types of people that say that they aren't interested in riding around on the road. They would like some more infrastructure. And so there's a couple of different options when it comes to retrofitting these sorts of things. On wider streets, you can put in a proper cycleway, protected with a piece of concrete. But in smaller, more narrow streets, then maybe a quiet way treatment might be appropriate, where you've got a 30km/h speed limit. So we're just turning right onto Loxley Road, and we're going to go down a little laneway called St. Vincent's Lane. As you can see, it's been blocked off, but this sort of thing could be opened back up and some proper ramps put in so that it is a proper active transport route. And as you can see, there's very few conflicts with cars down this little laneway. And we're just heading in the direction of Evatt Park in Bexley, which does have a few paths running through it. And there's a lot of families down there riding their bikes around. It's a lovely park and a lovely area that it would be great to have it linked up to schools and to public transport and that sort of thing. And as you can see, there's no access to any of the paths on the park from Leslie Street, which I think we're on Leslie Street now, Leslie Road, pardon me. So I've gone down here and I just use this person's driveway to get up onto the grass. This sort of thing is fine, I suppose, if you've got a mountain bike or something with some big tyres, but it's not very good for people if they've got a road bike with skinny tyres on it. So I'm just going up this lovely little path. As you can see, it's a lovely sunny day. Wonderful to be out on the bike. Not too many people out today. I think there's a bit of a chill in the air. But yeah, this sort of path is very, very nice, very relaxed riding up the hill. And as you'll see, as I come up to Regent Street, there's actually a car which is parked over the footpath, the ramp that goes down to the road, which is something that tends to happen in a city, and something which a bit of signage, maybe some marks on the road to let people know that they can't do that sort of thing. So I've just gone over onto the path and then down onto this driveway onto Regent Street, and on the right here we're just coming up to Homewood Care Nursing Home in Bexley, and I'm going to turn right here onto Isle of Street. And Isle of Street is one road. It's a bit of a rat run. I think it really would benefit from a lower speed limit, maybe the quiet way treatment, or considering that there is quite a bit of room, maybe you could accommodate some protected cycle lanes. Get the cars that are parked there inside the centre of the road a little bit more to narrow up the traffic lanes. As you can see, there's been a few traffic calming measures that have been adopted on this road. And I'm coming down to the roundabout, which is at St. George's Road. And I'll come through here. As you can see, it's just a quiet residential street. Well, it should be a quiet residential street. I know some people choose to drive more aggressively than others around these parts. There's a little painted bicycle on the side of the road, but it doesn't really cut it. So over here, we're just coming onto John Street. And I come up onto this path here, which is slightly wider than the footpath on the other side. And this goes all the way down to Henderson Walk and takes us up into Bexley Oval. Now this could be improved, particularly down here at Preddy's Road. A better sort of crossing could be put through here. The path that I'm on here could be widened, and it could be gazetted as a shared path. But as you can see, in Bexley, we've got so much nice infrastructure, so many nice parks and that sort of thing. We just need to do a bit of work to connect them so that, especially with the schools and with our pools and with the different nursing homes and other places we've got, we need to connect them better so that we can walk and cycle around safely away from cars, reduce conflicts with cars and trucks and buses and all of that sort of thing. So here we go, up onto Henderson Road, over Henderson Road and into Bexley Park. And the Bexley Oval is on my right. And this actually has been gazetted as a shared path. Now, a lot of the signage has worn away. It's not particularly well maintained. It's a little bit bumpy. So again, not so suitable for road bike users, but perfectly fine for me on a mountain bike. And I go left here down towards Stony Creek Road. Now, although this is a cycling route, when I press the button at Stony Creek Road, you'll notice that there is no bicycle sign on the crossing. So that's something that needs to be addressed. And on the other side of the road, there's a few signs and various obstacles that have been put up on the path. These should be taken out, redesigned, and to increase maneuverability for bicycles. Just a couple of minutes here while I'm waiting for the lights to change. So once I cross over Stony Creek Road, we're going to go down Eddiston Road. And once we get to Highgate Street, which is the roundabout, you can go left, and that takes us down to the Bexley Pool and into Bardwell Valley Parklands, which is a shared path until you get to Bexley Road. And then you can, once you go under Bexley Road, you can ride all the way down to Walleye Creek. It's a beautiful ride across the sort of ridge of Arncliffe and then down through a nice little rear lane and down into Walleye Creek, and you link back up to the cycling infrastructure, and you can go up the Cooks River or you can go back to Brighton Les Sands. So here we are going down Eddiston Road. You jump onto the road here, and as you can see, more little painted bicycles on the road that are a bit worn away. This kind of bicycle infrastructure, it's a bit outdated. We can do better than this. We should be doing better than this. And so I'm going to turn. I'm not going to go left on Highgate Road towards the pool. I'm going to go right on Highgate Road. And because it's blocked off on one end, Highgate Street, you can go down to Kingsland Road. There's a little ramp there, and it's a very quiet street. All the cars that I have encountered here, they're almost home. They're just pottering about, that sort of thing. There's definitely enough room on this road to accommodate some sort of cycling lane without affecting any parking or anything like that. And it's actually quite a nice street once you get down to the sort of eastern end of it. There's a beautiful old sandstone wall, and there's actually a little path that takes you down to the Kingsland Road Reserve, which would be a lovely little destination for families. There's play equipment down there. It's quite a good tree canopy down there. But I'm just going to continue on to Kingsland Road South, which we will then turn right and go up to Bexley, which this cycling route is particularly good because it links schools and business precincts, main roads, main streets, that sort of thing, to public transport, which is really important if you want to encourage people to get around by active transport. Well, you've got to link places with places. You can't just have a cycling lane in abstract, which tends to be the status quo in Bayside. There's some really great infrastructure, but then there's missing links which we need to fill in. As you can see, there's a bit of a lip here, and we come up, and there's quite a wide footpath here on Kingsland Road South, which we can ride down. And when there's an opportunity up ahead, I'll jump onto the road. Now, I find Kingsland Road South to be quite a quiet street. I've never really noticed too many fast travelling vehicles, but it is more of a potentially main road, I suppose. So when I'm riding here, I always make sure that I'm in far enough away from the parked cars that if anybody flings their door open, I'm outside of the danger zone for that. And you could definitely accommodate a cycling lane on this road. It's quite wide. So up here at Bexley Shops, we've just got the pub there on the corner. We've gone past the RSL already, and I've just pulled up behind this car because I'm towing a trailer, and I don't want to take the risk of scratching a car or something like that. And that's something that I think is really important if you're getting around on a bike. You don't have to be in a rush. You can slow down. You can enjoy yourself. Take up a bit of space on the road so that people see you. I think there's nothing worse than somebody who travels very close to the cars and is constantly yielding to cars, or you've got to take your space on the road. If you're confident enough, that is. I think it's a lot safer. I think you're a lot more visible. So just waiting here at back at Forest Road again. So we're going to go down Dunmore Street, which is a beautiful street with lovely homes, and it's tree lined, and it goes all the way down to the lovely Seaforth Park, which is another park which it's not a shared path that runs through it, and it could be improved in a number of ways to accommodate cycling, but it's a great opportunity. And again, the purpose of this cycling route is to link parks and schools and different nursing homes and business precincts, so that people can actually ride their bikes around safely and going to places. That's what active transport's all about. It's about going about your life, either walking or riding a bicycle. So as you can see, quite a few minutes for these lights to change. Here we go now. One of the great things about this intersection is that all three crossings go at the same time, so you can cut across diagonally, like in the city, like on George Street at Town Hall. if you were less confident, I suppose. One of the great things about this intersection is that it will block the traffic for a couple of minutes behind you to give you enough time to come down here and make this manoeuvre onto Dunmore Street. And as you can see, Dunmore Street's got a lovely tree canopy, beautiful old homes. There's another nursing home down here, which I keep bringing up the nursing homes. I think it's very important. We're all getting older, and it's important that we build for our continued mobility as we all age. So over the speed humps here, I'd just like to point out that I'm only doing about 18, maybe 20 kilometres an hour, and the car in front of me, who's obviously capable of doing 50 kilometres an hour, it sort of sped off, and then it got slowed down by the speed hump, and I just go over the speed hump at my full speed without an issue. Really showcases speed in a quite residential area, 50 kilometres an hour. It's not all it's cracked up to be, because very rarely can you actually do that speed. So here we are down at Seaforth Park, a lovely park with beautiful trees, fig trees and eucalyptus, and lots of people down here having a lovely time. So much nicer than driving around on the road when you get to come through a beautiful park like this. So this part, could be widened to accommodate a proper shared path, and we just jump off the edge here, and we're now on Dunmore Road South. So quite a wide road here, could definitely accommodate some bike lanes. I have heard people complaining that there's not enough parking on this street, so you could do something like rotate some of the parked cars around 90 degrees. You could actually increase capacity on this road. Just an idea. And as you can see, I'm going up the hill now. Definitely in Bexley, it's advisable that you get an e-bike if you can. Otherwise, you're going to have very strong legs riding around here. Cycling's one of those things that's only as hard as you want it to be. You can just put it in a low gear and just go nice and slow, and that's one of the advantages, I suppose, of a good bike lane, is that people feel comfortable to go slow. They don't feel intimidated by cars, that sort of thing. So we're just coming around the bend onto Wolseley Street, and Kogarah-Marist is on our right, or on our left. There's a great little walkway which goes down to Warialda Street and Fry's Reserve to see the beautiful jacaranda trees that we've got, and over the pedestrian crossing. And there is quite a steep hill down here. That's another thing about hills. If you work very hard to ride up a hill, well, it's very likely that you're going to get a nice break on the other side of it. So we're coming up to Queen Victoria Street here. And I've always found Wolseley Street to be a fairly quiet street to ride down, being very residential. It tends not to get used as a rat run. But as you can see, that chap ran through the roundabout. You've always got to be very aware when you're riding on the road, and good infrastructure makes it safer for everyone. So coming up Wolseley Street, I don't know how much you can see it in this video, but there is a cyclist in front of me on a road bike, this is another street which I think it's not so wide as some of the other streets. Maybe it would be better treated as a quiet way, putting a lower speed limit on it, changing some of the changing some of the parking around maybe a little bit. And here we are going over Verdun Street, that was. And now I think technically it changes to Cameron Street. And we go down Cameron Street for quite a way. As you can see, the nice burnout marks there. And here we are coming into a school zone. As we are approaching the Carlton Public School. Another school, I think how many schools are we up to? We had the 3 up there on Forrest Road, and then we had Kogarah-Carlton. We went past St Gabriel's, on Highgate Street. We missed that one. So I think this is 6 schools that we have linked up with this cycling route now. And quite a few churches, I do believe, and quite a few nursing homes. So a lot of community centres linked up by this route. And we're going to be coming up on Wilson Road very shortly. And so one of the great things about cycling down Wolseley Street and then Cameron Street and coming across Wilson Road like this, because Wilson Road's quite a busy road, but we can duck over onto Short Street, which is a lovely quiet road that takes us all the way down to Carlton, the train station, and the main street there, and we go past the Tyndale Park, which is a great park with some nice play equipment and some beautiful trees. And this is another street which there's plenty of room to do lots of things. A quiet way treatment might be appropriate with a 30km/h speed limit, and maybe some sort of concession up near Carlton Parade, because the Short Street's only a one-way street up at Carlton Parade, but might have to make it bi-directional for cyclists only. Pardon me. And because it's one way only, I ride up past St Bernadette's Catholic Church and Chuckayui, just to show everyone what I'm talking about. Where it says no entry, we should there's actually quite a wide path on the left there. Maybe that could be made a shared path or something like that. So we're just going to go back the way we came, around Tyndale Park, and then we're going to go up Mill Street. Mill Street is of a similar quality, I suppose, to Short Street, but I think it's a bit busier because it connects up to some major roads or busier roads. But again, it's a very pleasant street to ride down. Just some of these roads are just very wide. We've got it's like the same principle when you go down into a tunnel and the person in front of you slows down because they feel like there's less space and they're a little bit more cautious. So people drive slow in tunnels. I think we have the opposite effect in some of our residential streets. Because they're so wide, they encourage people to drive at a higher speed, because they can see for a long way ahead, and so that's just something to think of. If we close these spaces in, and there's a lot of different ways that you can go about that, you're going to reduce the speed at which people drive. So here we are coming up to Carlton Parade, and we're going to turn right. And we're going to go past the Shopfront Arts Co-op, which is another great community centre that we're linking with this cycling route. And we're going to go up Xenia Avenue, which is it's almost like it's almost like a back lane, that sort of thing, and it takes us all the way back up to Sydney Technical High, which completes our loop. This is it's really the main reason for me showing this route is because the state government has spoken about wanting to link schools together, with active transport infrastructure. And this route that I've shown you here today, it links, I think, 6 or maybe 7 schools together. And it would also, if it was realised, provide a great benefit to anybody who wanted to cycle around. See, this is that's the cyclist that I was behind before. I said hi to him. You can't hear, but I muted the original audio. So I think there's 40% or so of people surveyed would like to ride more, but they would like some infrastructure. And this route that I've laid out, it links all of the schools with train stations, and there's another little opportunity. I'm just slowing down here because there's a car that's coming down. They end up getting out of the pulling aside for me, and which was very polite, but I was waiting for them. Linking all of the train stations with all of the parks and the schools and the pool and the RSL clubs and stuff like that. Such a nice option, particularly on a nice sunny day like this, just to hop onto the bike and cruise around safely. So 40% of people want to cycle more, but they can't with the existing infrastructure. Well, let's build them some infrastructure. And with all the growth and everything that we're having, that we're expecting in Sydney, with the density that people are putting in, if everybody gets into a car, geez, we're in a lot of trouble. We can't just endlessly build more roads, particularly in residential areas like this. It's just not viable. So we need to use space more efficiently. And the wonderful news for anybody thinking about riding around on their bike is, it's a lot of fun just to get out and, you say hello to people. You can stop opportunistically. Where I was up there at Bexley on Forest Road before, there's a gelato shop and there's a pub. You can stop and get lunch with impunity. You don't have to worry about a park. Active transport, it really is just such a pleasant way to get around. I think a lot of people, growing up car-centric like I did too, people don't realise what they're missing out on. It's such a pleasant way to explore your local area. And we really are so lucky in Bexley and Carlton and Kogarah and Kingsgrove as well. I can post another video of riding around Kingsgrove. We really are so lucky that we have all of these nice parks, and we're actually we're a lot closer than people think. You can ride from say Kogarah to Bexley Pool in 10 or 12 minutes, and that's at a very leisurely pace. So a very good way to get around. And so we're on Ethel Street now, and we're just turning left onto Anderson Street, and Anderson Street is going to take us back up. We've just been skirting Sydney Technical High School, and Anderson Street takes us up. It's got a little chicane in it. I've ridden up Anderson Street at all different times of the day, and you might think that with proximity to Forest Road like it has, that it might be busy, but I've never really noticed that. It always seems to be a fairly quiet street. So we're back on the other side of Forest Road to where we started. This video is 30 minutes in duration, and it was a very leisurely ride, let me tell you. I wasn't trying to break any records, and I was being very patient behind a car, and I took a little detour up Short Street to show you the potential of making that bi-directional. And Yeah, I think cycling in our area is a lot more viable than some people like to think. Yeah, and other hilly places like North Sydney, Brookvale, they've had a huge uptake of students riding around on e-bikes, which is a great use case for the technology and gives young people, a lot of freedom to get around their suburb.